Whoops. My bad. My bad. I played the wrong intro, but I caught it though. So this is this is my intro. Here we go. All right. So welcome to the Be Your Own Hero Show. Today is June 14th. This is the 27th episode of season 4 of the Be Your Own Hero Show. Hero is an acronym. It means helping everyone reach optimism. I'm your host. I'm Sekouwrites. I'm a professional creative, which means I do a lot of different things. And I'm also the creator of the Hero Ministry Movement, which is my effort to uplift and inspire people in general and the unhoused community in specific. So join me here Monday through Friday, 8:45 a.m. Central Time, and check your local listings for the conversion. And shout out to New Thought Media Network for allowing me this space and this opportunity to talk about my journey of becoming my own hero in all the different ways. If this show feeds you, please like it, please comment, and most of all, please share it so we can move the circle of knowledge beyond this tight-knit group and expand the circle even bigger. And that said, just a reminder, I'm not a personal trainer nor my financial advisor, so take what I say with a grain of salt. Okay, so couple things. First of all, not only did I play the wrong intro this morning, I forgot that today is meditation with the moon. I'm going to say it again at the end of the show, but I just wanted to make sure I said it early. I forgot today is meditation with the moon, which means there's no 10:30 a.m. Eastern time sip. Sip with Rev Melissa is meditation with the moon at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, 7:30 p.m. Central time. Okay, so just a quick reminder to you and to me. So it will show up as Sit with Rev Melissa because I forgot, but it will be at the appointed time, 7:30 p.m. What did I just say? 7:30 p.m. Central time. Okay, so that's that. Moving on. I have to give myself some fireworks right quick because this is anniversary month and I keep forgetting. So I'm reminding myself, this is anniversary month. I expect to do fireworks every day for the rest of the month. So let's go. Anniversary month. Anniversary month, meaning that this month is the 1-year anniversary of my Hero charity run, but it is also the anniversary month of the Be Your Own Hero Show. And it is also the personal anniversary of me, meaning it's my birthday month. So 3x, 3 times anniversary month. So there's going to be fireworks every day for the rest of the month. I don't know how that's been escaping my mind, but for the rest of the month, I expect to start every show with fireworks. So be prepared. Also, I'm going to be talking about my spot on Channel 2 News for the rest of the month. I'm gonna milk that for the rest of the month. So just be prepared. I think I told you I posted it on social media yesterday, like the full video clip, which is only 3 minutes. But if you haven't seen it, check it out. I'm probably going to play it here on the show again because it was good. I enjoyed it. All right. So where are we? After anniversary month, I think we can just get into the show now. So Hero Ministry Movement news. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. Hero Ministry Movement news. I messed up the days for the Hero charity run when I got close to the end. Several of you pointed it out. My mom pointed it out. Some of you pointed it out. I got the days wrong, right? And so I never wanted that to happen again. And so I talked to Antoine, and if you've been watching the show, you know that Antoine is the guy who introduced me to the concept of a charity run. Antoine is literally on, let me tell you what day Antoine is on, just to give you a frame of reference. Antoine is on day 1,383. He's been running every day, at least a mile a day, for 1,383 days in a row. That's crazy, right? Anyway, let me finish my story. I mentioned it to him that, hey, man, I got my days wrong. And I remembered that whenever I asked him what day he was on, he would just look at his phone. And so I was like, whatever app that is, I need to get it. So it turns out that the app he has is on iPhone, and I can't get it because I'm on Android. But I got a similar app, which is how I was able to just tell you what his run day is, because I've got his run entered into my phone too, into that same app. So I've been having fun with this app now because I put a bunch of different things in here. So I will not get the date wrong again as long as I check the app. So as I said, today is day 379 for the run streak, but I didn't realize until today, just today, because I put the first day of the show, the Be Your Own Hero show, into the app. Today is day 371 for the show. So I literally started the show, the Be Your Own Hero show, 1 week after I started the Hero Charity Run. I never made that connection until just now. I never made it till today. June was a big month for me last year. Right? So I started the Hero Charity Run, and then 1 week later, I started the Be Your Own Hero show. What? Wait, where's my fireworks? Where's my fireworks? Let's get back up on these fireworks. Yeah, it's a lot going on. All right. Also, I entered more stuff. Also, I have not had not even a sip of liquor in 972 days. What? Because I remembered the date that I stopped drinking, and so I put that into the app. 972 days. So anyway, there are plenty of apps like this, or you could just kind of Google it. There's it's called a time from calculator. So you can put in some date that's important to you, and the computer will keep track of it. Like if you're doing the 30-day movement challenge with Rev Mel, then you can put your start date in, and then the device will just tell you where you are. So you don't have to calculate it. You don't have to run the risk of being wrong. So I keep entering things in here, which is fascinating to me. But I love being able to tell people. People ask me all the time, how long have you not been drinking? Now I'll be able to look at my phone and say, yeah, 972 days. Wow, crazy, right? Okay. So anyway, that's my plug for keeping track of your progress, because it helps you mentally. Like when you know that you've been doing something for X amount of time, it just helps. Like it helps strengthen your resolve to do it longer. So those of you that are doing any kind of challenge, keep track of the days, because it's one thing to say you do it every day, and that's impressive enough. But if you really want to impress yourself, your subconscious, if you really want to impress upon yourself that you've been sticking to this, add up the days, and you don't have to add it up. You can just go on your computer or on your phone and have it added up for you. So that was definitely a sidebar, but I got excited about these numbers today. Okay, moving on. So morning Zen, I think. No, dice roll challenge. Let's do the dice roll challenge. I got some things I want to talk about, so I think I'm going to pick up the pace. So here we go. Dice roll challenge. 3. Numbers 3. Yesterday was 2. So we're at $5 for the week so far. Let me just write this down so I don't forget. All right, $5 for the week thus far. Remember, you want to take that money out of circulation and put it into a bank account. I've trailed off because I'm literally thinking about something I saw on TikTok this morning, and he was talking about the same concept, but he explained it in a way that might make it easier to digest. So this is what he said. I wish I could play it, but he said, develop the habit of setting aside money. It's more about the habit than it is about the money. And I've said that in so many words. It's about the habit. And what he suggests is adding 2 more bank accounts where you already have your bank account. So if you've just got a checking, open up a few more accounts, like maybe a couple more checking accounts, maybe a couple more savings accounts. For him, it didn't matter what kind of account it is. Just open up 2 more. And then whenever money comes in, your earned income comes in, divide it. Put money into those 2 other accounts. He is not concerned about percentage at all. He did not suggest a percentage. You know, if you've been watching the show, that I've been suggesting 10%, and I got that number from a book called 1 Minute Millionaire. This guy, and I don't know his name, was suggesting that it does not matter how much you put into those accounts, just that you put money into those accounts every time you get paid, every single time you get earned income. Matter of fact, he said to automate it. So set it up with that first account so that it automatically moves money into the other 2 accounts on payday. So you don't even have to think about it. And he said that habit of setting aside the money is what helps build the mindset of a millionaire, someone who accumulates wealth, because ultimately it changes the way you think. And I have definitely experienced that for myself. Like it is, what's the right way to phrase this? It's become more challenging for me to not set aside the money. In the beginning, it was challenging for me to set aside the money. And now, if I don't do it, it nags at me. Got to pay myself first, got to pay myself first, got to pay myself first. So it changes the way you think about wealth and abundance and your future. So try it. So I will, you know what, let me not promise. But if I find that video again, I'll show it, because I think the way he talks about it is pretty clear and concise. But that's what he suggests. Open up 2 new accounts at your bank of record and automate the money going into those accounts based on when you get paid. It's about the habit. Okay, moving on. So now we're going to talk about morning zen. I had an interesting morning zen today. I read a little bit of Tell Yourself a Better Lie, which I mentioned yesterday, and then I got into reading about finance, which shouldn't really be like a morning zen kind of reading, but for some reason it really it spoke to my spirit this morning. I felt like reading about finance, so I read quite a bit about finance early in the morning this morning. But let me read this example from Tell Yourself a Better Lie, because I was reaching for an example yesterday and I felt like I didn't quite get an example that resonated with you. I couldn't tell because the chat was quiet. So let me read this example from the book. Again, this is from the book Tell Yourself a Better Lie. Okay, here's another example of this. There's a client, Andy, who believed he was never the favorite child because he was given up for adoption by his biological parents. The truth is, he was his adoptive parents' favorite, which they later told him, but he didn't feel that way. Andy believed, I was given up for adoption, which means I'm not lovable and I couldn't be the favorite. In reality, a much better storyline or belief for him to tell himself would be, I was loved so much by my biological parents, they gave me to people who could give me a life with many more opportunities. And my adoptive family wanted me so much that they went through everything to get me. With that belief, it would be much easier to feel loved and favored by his adoptive parents. What's more important, the feeling or the belief? What's more important, the feeling or the belief? Both are, but you have to change the belief in order to change the feeling. You have to change the belief in order to change the feeling. So this is the essence of Tell Yourself a Better Lie. This is a book by a psychologist who discovered that basically what people need to do is, in her language, tell yourself a better lie. You're making up stories about what happens to you every day. This is what we all do. It's automatic. Something happens, you attach a feeling, you attach a story. That happens all day, every day. Something happens, you attach a feeling, you attach a story. You can simplify that and say, something happens, you attach a story, right? So her point is, attach a better story. Attach a more positive story. This will help your mindset. And that's a great segue, because I've been talking about positive explanatory style, which is a term for what we're talking about now. Like taking something that happened, past tense, and applying a positive explanatory style to what happened, making a better story, like in this story, in this example about Andy, how he could have remixed his beliefs about adoption, right? Okay. So I've been hinting at something, and now it's time for me to just say it clearly. What I've been hinting at is I want all of us here in this space, as we're talking about money and finance, to apply a positive explanatory style to your past money woes. If you have any. Hopefully you don't have any. But if you do, apply a positive explanatory style to those same money woes that you've been whining and moaning about all these years. I gave you an example earlier this week about a friend of mine who missed out on a stock that went on to do gangbusters. And he still talks about missing out on the stock. But what I noticed is that he never bought in. And he could still buy in. He could remix that thought, apply a positive explanatory style and think, I'm a great stock picker. I picked that stock when it was an embryo, basically. And it went on to do phenomenal things. So therefore, I can pick another one. Like that would be a positive way to explain what happened to himself, a way that encourages him to buy another stock, invest in a different position. So anyway, my point is, especially with finance, we tend to, speaking for myself, I tend to lament those things that didn't go the way I wanted them to. And what I'm discovering through all of these different books, all of these different teachings is you can remix that same thing that happened. You can choose to think about that same thing that did happen in a new way. So it doesn't change what happened, but it changes the way you think about it. And that changes the way you think about future opportunities. Okay. That's what I have to say about that. And so as we all do that exercise of choosing perhaps the biggest financial woe that we have and choosing to remix it by applying a positive explanatory style, that is the segue to what I'm about to say, which is all the stuff that I read this morning. So all the stuff that I read this morning was about the recession, right? Now, that wasn't my intention. Margaretta dropped a note in the chat yesterday that I didn't see until the show ended, telling me that Tesla is about to do a stock split. So it started with that, and then it kind of, my reading snowballed into other things. So Tesla has called for a vote. And if the vote goes through, they're going to split their stock 3-to-1. So if you got one share, all of a sudden you'll have 3. So that's still on the table. They haven't, finalized it yet. But in the process of reading about that, I've read all this other stuff that talks about how we're inching into a recession. Or in some cases, people are saying that the recession has already started. The next recession has already started. So for example, let me read you something. Let's see. Over the weekend, the national average price for a gallon of regular gasoline hit $5 for the first time as drivers brace for a painful summer at the pump. Okay, so there's that. I found something else. On Friday, government data showed that U.S. consumer prices are rising at the fastest rate in 40 years. I'm going to read that again. U.S. consumer prices are rising at the fastest rate in 40 years. That was announced this past Friday. Right? So people are saying, the rumblings are rumbling about us entering the next recession. Okay, so this is where the rubber meets the road. This is what we've been training our minds for. Here in this space, we've been preparing for this. Now, hopefully you've done all the different exercises. You've done the Dice Roll Challenge and all the different things we've talked about so that your mindset is ready. So if the rumblings are true, if we are entering the next recession now, you can't change that, but you can change what you pay attention to, and you can change how you react. That's the whole game. We've all lived through recessions already, right? And what did you do during the recessions? Probably you stared at the TV and were wringing your hands, right? Probably you got infected by the virus of lack, of doubt, of uncertainty. What are you going to do this time, though? How are you going to react differently? Assuming that this is it, assuming that we're tiptoeing into the next recession right now, how are you going to react differently? Because you can't change what's about to happen, but you can change how you react. So let that settle. Let that settle. Focus on what you can control. All right? There's been recessions before, and guess what? This too shall pass. Then we come out of the recession, and there'll be another one, and this might be it right now. You've got to focus on you, how you react differently. So let me give you an example. What did I just read? Over the weekend, the national average price for a gallon of gasoline hit $5 national average. There's some places where it's even more than that, $6, $7. And they're saying that it doesn't matter how high the gas prices are. People have been cooped up by the pandemic. This is a nice summer where the pandemic has died down a bit. Everyone's going to go on vacation. Everyone's going to go spend the money for the gas anyway. That's what my reading was saying this morning, right? So what's a different way to react to that for you? Like, yeah, you can wring your hands about the price of gasoline, but that's not going to change the price of gas. You wringing your hands and worrying about it is not going to change it. But you can change your reaction to it. So what did I do? I bought a share of Chevron gasoline. Why Chevron? Because Chevron is in the Dow. It's one of the 30 Dow components. So just play it out with me. Gas prices are high, but people are still going on vacation, so they're going to use the gas. This is going to be beneficial to the gas companies. What better way to benefit from that personally than by owning a piece of a gas company? So that was my train of thought. And then I thought, okay, where has the research already been done? The research has already been done in the NASDAQ, in the S&P 500, and the Dow. Those are three of many places where the research has already been done. So I went to the Dow because that is the smallest of those groups. The Dow, in case you missed the memo, has only 30 stocks in it. I still can't get over that. Only 30 stocks, 30 components. The NASDAQ has 100. S&P 500 has obviously 500. So I went there. I found Chevron is one of the Dow components. I bought a share of Chevron. So I expect that stock to do very well over the coming summer. That's a way that I'm reacting differently to the same information. I can't change the fact that the gas prices are high. I can't change the fact that the consumer prices are going higher, but I can be mindful about how I interact with that information, right? And you can too. You can too. So earlier I said, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is what I'm talking about. Thinking about things differently. And what are other areas where we can think about things differently? The Dow is down. NASDAQ is down. The S&P 500 is down. Matter of fact, S&P 500, let me find it. The S&P 500 is down 4% right now, but it's down 20% from January. So in 6 months, it went down 20%. Now, what's happening in the market? The market, as I've explained before, as I've learned from all these sources, is moved by emotion, not math, by emotion. So the market's down. Why? Because people are panicking and selling stocks. They're selling stocks. The market's going down. And what have we learned about that? We've learned from Warren Buffett, not from me, from Warren Buffett and other financial luminaries, to do the opposite of what the market does. When people are fearful and selling, you buy. When people are confident, you go the other way. So let's not talk about the other way right now, because what's happening right now is people are fearful and selling. So you buy. You acquire more of the Dow. You acquire more of the NASDAQ. You acquire more of the S&P 500 while the prices are down. And then when the prices inevitably go back up, you're sitting pretty. Now I know, I'm just stopping my alarm. I know that that's a tall order, especially if you haven't been doing these exercises all along. It's hard to think about it that way. But just remember that this is not Sekou telling you to do this. I am telling you what I have been learning from these other pundits, these other luminaries. Like, it's consistent. They say, do the opposite of what the market is doing. Do the opposite. So right now, what's happening is everybody's panicking, everybody's selling, market's going down. These vetted properties, Dow, NASDAQ, S&P, are going down. Are they going to stay down forever? I don't think so. I don't think so. If the past is any indicator, they will not. And you want to get in on those stocks, those positions, those assets while they're down so you can reap the reward later. Okay, so last thing I want to say is I mentioned Netflix yesterday. Now, I said that now might be the time to take a look at that. I took a look at it this morning in my morning reading, and I feel the same way as what I just said about the NASDAQ and the S&P and the Dow. Yeah, it's down now, but I still think it's going to rebound. Yes, there are lots more streaming opportunities, there's lots more streaming companies, but Netflix, as my mom would say, is the gorilla in the room. They're going to figure it out. They're going to figure it out. And so I'm sticking to my FANG stocks in terms of growth stocks. That's Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google. I took out Apple because it pays a dividend. So that I'm thinking of that separately now. So Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google. I still believe that those 4 stocks, the FANG stocks, will continue to do well. And now is a good time to double up on those too. Okay, so final thing. I just want to circle back to trading. So my intention is to acquire at least 2 shares of Google. I mentioned this before, at least 2 shares of Google. And when that stock splits, I'm going to keep one, sell one. I just wanted to finish this thought. Worst thing that happens is I own 2 shares of Google. Like if I don't see an opportunity to sell the other share, I just keep both for long term. No harm, no foul, right? But if when the stock splits, it jumps the way it did with Amazon about a week ago, then I sell the other share and then reinvest that money right back into the stock market. And just to give you an example of how this works, I looked up Tesla. So Tesla did a stock split in 2020, right? And it went from wait a minute, was it on the day? No, it was when they announced it. When they announced the stock split, it went from $1,300 per share to $2,000 per share. So $700 right there, $700 right there. So if at that point you had 2 shares of Tesla and it went up $700, you could have sold that 1 share, that extra share, and kept 1 share for long-term hold. So I'm offering you a different way to think about trading. Like it does not have to be a big, complicated, staring at a chart procedure. There are certain things that seem to be fixed in the stock market, like the excitement that is generated by a stock split that tends to push the stock price up. So if you own multiple shares, you can sell the other shares and keep some shares for long term. And worst case scenario, if you don't see a bump that makes you want to sell, just keep the shares. Just hold on to them for long term. Okay, that's it. That's it. I think I'm going to keep talking about this though. Let's just get into this talk about current possible recession and how we can move differently. So I see there's some comments in the chat, but now I've used up all my time. So just a reminder, there is no Sit with Rev Melissa at 10:30 a.m. Sit with Rev Melissa is actually Meditation with the Moon. It's happening at 7:30 p.m. Central Time, which is 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So I'll see you there. Until then, until tomorrow, keep doing. Actually, let me just say, I will read the comments now and I'll respond to the comments tomorrow. So until tomorrow, keep doing. Be a hero. Be your own financial hero. And remember that now is better than perfect in all things, but especially in terms of investing. I'll see you tomorrow. Later.